NFL Week 5 picks and predictions. Thursday Night Football. We got the 0-4 dumpster fire Chicago Bears taking on the Washington Commanders. And I'm taking the Commanders, man. They got a way better defense than what the Denver Broncos had last week. Yeah, Justin Fields looked good, and the Broncos, they still came back and won the game. But you got to remember that Chicago's offense was going up against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. You're going up against a Commanders defense that, although it has been mad disappointing to watch at times, their defensive line is absolutely going to obliterate Chicago's offensive line. It's going to be a massacre. Justin Fields is going to be running for his life all Thursday night in this game. I like the Commanders to win. Tennessee, Indianapolis, this is a tough one because Tennessee, they don't look really good right now offensively. Outside of Derrick Henry, they got nobody. DeAndre Hopkins, our worst fear has come true for him. He signed with Tennessee, and now he's become irrelevant in Tennessee because Ryan Tannehill stinks and he can't get him the football. So outside of Derrick Henry, Tennessee has no weapons on offense. But they do have a really good defense, though. And they're going up against Anthony Richardson. And why I'm so split on this game is because, anytime you got a rookie quarterback going up against a really good defensive-minded coach like Mike Vrabel, rookie quarterbacks tend to struggle. But Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud are kind of breaking the mold. And I think it's because of how good the coaching staffs are around them. And Shane Steichen, being the head coach for Anthony Richardson, has greatly benefited him. And it's a large reason why he's been such a pleasant surprise for most people up to this point. I'm going to take Tennessee. Okay. I think Anthony Richardson can play well in this game, but I do think he probably makes a back-breaking mistake late that probably wins it for Tennessee. I mean, this defense is just a little bit too good for Anthony Richardson just to have a crazy performance against it. I'll be really surprised if Anthony Richardson lit up Tennessee's defense. I'm taking the Ravens against the Steelers, man, and I'm a Steelers fan doing this, but I just don't really got any faith in this offense. And Kenny Pickett possibly could play in this game, but Matt Canada's a terrible offensive coordinator. We got no secondary. The Ravens right now look like the team to beat in the AFC North. Lamar Jackson is playing at an MVP level. He does have the tendency to struggle against the Steelers, but I think this year, the offense is just so bad. I just think that Lamar and the Ravens get this one, at least the first go around. We got Jaguars playing the Buffalo Bills in London. The Jags just seem unbeatable anytime they play in London. The Buffalo Bills reminded us last week against the Miami Dolphins that they still are the team to beat in the AFC East, and they still are the biggest threat to the Chiefs. Could Trevor Lawrence have his coming out party against the Buffalo Bills? I've yet to really see a performance that Trevor Lawrence put up that made me go, oh yeah, Trevor Lawrence has officially arrived. He officially is a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the league. So far, I've been really disappointed with how the Jags offense has performed so far this season. And the Buffalo Bills defense has been a top 3, top 5 defense at worst this year. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills to get the win. I could see the Jaguars pulling off the upset, but right now, I just think the Jaguars are starting this season out a little bit slow out the gate. I think they're a team that's possibly going to get better the more we progress throughout this season. Now, when you look at the next slate of games that we have, right, this is going to be really interesting because you got the Houston Texans taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And the Houston Texans, with the win in this game, they could be 3-2 and possibly have the best record in the AFC South when this week is all said and done. And you're going against the Atlanta Falcons team that right now, they're in survival mode. Desmond Ridder, we don't know if he's going to remain the starting quarterback for any longer because he's played like garbage, all right? He threw interceptions on back-to-back drives when they played against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. He doesn't like to throw the football downfield, and he's holding back Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and the rest of the talented skill position players that they have on that team. I'm going to take Houston to win. I think their defense is going to be really good in this game, and I think CJ Stroud is going to continue to have the season that he's had up to this point, looking like a top 10 quarterback. And I got no problem calling CJ Stroud a top 10 quarterback only a couple of games in. Like I said the same thing about Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Sometimes you don't need half a season or a full season to know how good a guy is. Like you can know a guy's a dog when a guy has the kind of performances that CJ Stroud has been putting up so far. Plus, his offensive line is a disaster. I mean, they're down multiple starters on that offensive line, and it doesn't even matter because CJ Stroud is just so calm, cool, and collected in the pocket. And I think for the Atlanta Falcons, their defense, it has played pretty well, but their offense just hurts them. What's the point of having a great defense if they have to be on the field for hella plays because the offense can't really do a good job at sustaining drives? I'm taking the Lions over the Panthers easily. This isn't going to take too long to make a pick about. The Carolina Panthers possibly are going to be 0-6, and they possibly could be tanking for Marvin Harrison Jr. Well, they can't tank for nobody because they traded their first-round pick away. So it ain't even no point in them tanking. If anything, they making the job easier for the team they traded that pick to, Chicago. The Lions are going to win this game. I'm pretty confident that the Panthers fall to 0-5, but I'm hoping that my guy Bryce Young has a good game against the Lions defense. Giants, Dolphins. I don't think the Giants are as bad as a team as what many people think. And I know it's easy to write them off, but I don't think they're a bad team. I don't think they're a great team neither. I think this is a mid team, and mid teams are capable of being able to pull off upsets. And the Dolphins, last week, they suffered a really demoralizing loss because many people thought that this was going to be the game that the Dolphins showed everybody why they now are the new kings of the AFC East, but they got humbled in the worst way possible. I'm still going to take the Dolphins to win. I was thinking about taking the Giants to win, but I don't think their defense is that great neither. I think that Tua is going to carve up that secondary. Like Deonte Banks, the rookie cornerback that they drafted in the first round out of Maryland, he's been pretty okay this year, but he gave up a touchdown to DK Metcalf last week that really upset me because it's like he was playing good coverage and then it seemed like he wasn't really paying attention. I guess he thought that the play was over. And then Geno Smith turns around and throws an interception to DK Metcalf, and Deonte Banks is just looking lost and surprised. Like, bruh, play through the whistle. New England is at home hosting the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints, man, this team is mad overrated. I told you guys this before the season, and I still remain with the same opinion up to this point going into week 5. Derek Carr has not been anything special. He's been the same Derek Carr that we've seen all these years with the Las Vegas Raiders. As a matter of fact, I need to write that down because I need to do a segment about that. He's mid. Okay, the only reason why Derek Carr isn't getting scrutinized by Saints fans is because this defense has been so good this year that as long as Derek Carr plays mid and he doesn't lose the game for the Saints, they're going to be able to win. The problem with that is that you're going up against a really good defense in the New England Patriots. And I know that they got body bagged last week by the Dallas Cowboys 38-3. But the Dallas Cowboys are just a really great team. The Patriots, I don't think that they're a bad team. I kind of think they're a mid team. I view them the same way I view the New York Giants. They're not good, but they're not bad. You can never count them out. And Mac Jones, I don't think he's been as bad as what people have been saying he's been this season. I thought that, he played pretty crappy against the Dallas Cowboys, but outside of that game, for the most part, I think he's been pretty solid this season. I'm going to roll with New England to get the win. Derek Carr, I don't think he's that great, and, I don't think his defense is going to be able to bail him out in this game. I think that the Patriots defense and Bill Belichick are really going to be able to expose Derek Carr, and I think that many Saints fans possibly could turn on Derek Carr with the loss in this game because then they will fall to 2-3 on the season. And they got beat really bad by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, oh my goodness, the Buccaneers put it on New Orleans in the worst way. So give me New England a win. Plus they're playing at home in Foxborough. We got the Philadelphia Eagles going on the road to take on the LA Rams. The Rams have been a really big surprise. I mean, this team has played pretty well. They've exceeded expectations. We thought this team was going to be one of the worst in the NFL. Now, they very well could be, but you're not always what your record says you are. The Rams are a way better team than what their record says. Their offensive line has played pretty good. The receivers are playing really good. Puka Nacua, I got him in all my fantasy leagues. This is easily one of my favorite rookies in the league because anytime you produce for my fantasy team, I'm always going to root for you. However, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to win. The Rams defense is severely lacking in a lot of areas. You know, I don't think they got great corners. I don't really think they got a great defensive line outside of like a couple of players, not named Aaron Donald. I'm going to take Philadelphia. The Rams probably keep this thing close just because they're so well coached, but I think Philadelphia pulls away in the fourth quarter. Cincinnati versus Arizona. I don't know, man. You know, it seems like it's easy to pick Cincinnati. But Joe Burrow, I mean, ever since this brother got paid, he has not looked it. He has not looked like he's it. He looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. And when you look at that calf injury that he suffered, it obviously is impacting him. And I just wonder, with Arizona, the way that they've played in all their games so far this season, and the way Cincinnati has struggled offensively, I can kind of see Arizona winning this game. I really don't know. I really don't know who to pick, man. I'm so conflicted. I'm so conflicted right now. It's like Arizona has played so great, and Cincinnati just looks like they can't do anything offensively, but it's like damn, it's like they still got the better team. It's just hard to pick against Cincinnati because it's like it's Arizona, but at the same time, Arizona has played great football. I don't know, man. Like, I want to take Cincinnati. I don't got the balls to take Arizona. I'm just going to keep it 100. But I wouldn't be surprised if they won this game, though. But I do think that Joe Burrow and company should be able to get the job done. And plus, they do got a pretty good defense. We got the Jets taking on the Broncos. Oh, I can't wait for this game because Sean Payton, he might have to answer for all that shit he was talking about Nathaniel Hackett. I hope y'all didn't forget about Sean Payton's comments that he made about Nathaniel Hackett prior to this season starting, because it's time for the New York Jets to make Sean Payton eat his words. All right, and I'm taking them to win this game. Now, I don't think they're going to win because Zach Wilson is going to continue to play the way that he did in this game, like he did in Sunday night. I think he kind of comes back to earth a little bit, but I don't think he's going to struggle. The Broncos defense sucks. Justin Fields put 28 on this defense. He looked like Tom Brady out there. At one point, Justin Fields was 16 for 16 against the Denver Broncos last week. And I promise to God, right hand on the Bible, left hand on the Bible, I'm not making this up. You watched the first half of Bears Broncos last week. That fool Justin Fields looked like the black version of Tom Brady mixed with a little bit of Michael Vick in his jeans. The Denver Broncos, though, they still came back and won the game because it's the Chicago Bears and they're a clown show down there, and that's just what clown shows do. They just find clown ways to lose games, and that's what the Chicago Bears did. But the New York Jets, they got too good of a defense for Russell Wilson to be going off against. And Russell Wilson has played pretty solid up to this point. All right, let's give Russell Wilson his credit, and let's give him his roses for how he's performed. But this defense is just way too tough to see the Broncos having a lot of success. I mean, they had success against the Bears last week, but the Bears have arguably the worst defense in the NFL. I got the Chiefs over the Minnesota Vikings. The Chiefs have struggled this year at times, even though they are 3-1. They have some issues offensively. At wide receiver, they need somebody else to step up outside of MVS, and nobody really is consistently stepping up. Now, defensively, This defense has played the best that it ever has had in all the years that Steve Spagnuolo has been the defensive coordinator for Kansas City. And I think this could be the year where maybe he gets another head coaching opportunity. Even though he is up there in age, it's just like this defense is playing way too good not to give him an interview at least. And the Minnesota Vikings defense, I feel like it's come around. But, Kirk Cousins, last week, he didn't really look that great against Carolina. Now, he did have a big touchdown throw to Justin Jefferson, which was a nicely thrown ball by him. But he's now kind of starting to, lose a little bit of the fire that he had to start this season. I like Kansas City to get the win in this game. Minnesota, I do think they are capable of being able to pull off the upset. But with how well Kansas City is playing defensively, I kind of doubt it. We got Dallas taking on the 49ers. I'm going to have to preview this game. This game is just way too big not to talk about. These are two of the best teams in the NFC. This could be a potential NFC Conference Championship matchup. Who should I take? Cowboys, 49ers. The last time these two teams played, it was a pretty close affair. But Dak Prescott sold because he threw the interception late. You look at the 49ers, Chris McCaffrey looks like an MVP candidate. This defense is playing well. The offense is playing well. Dallas, outside of their lone hiccup against Arizona, they look pretty good. I'm taking San Francisco again. All right. This game is a coin flip. You could pretty much flip a coin and make your prediction based on heads or tails. But I like the 49ers. I just think with the Dallas Cowboys, their lack of efficiency in the red zone is definitely going to hurt them in this game. When you're going up against a team like San Francisco, you can't go and struggle in the red zone. You got to be able to put touchdowns on the board when you get into the red area against the 49ers. I think that's ultimately going to cost them. And I got the Packers beating the Raiders. The Raiders are a pending dumpster fire. Jimmy Garoppolo, he missed last week with a concussion, I believe. He should be able to come back in this game. We don't know, but even if he does play, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I like Jordan Love way more than I like Jimmy Garoppolo. And this is it for my NFL Week 5 picks and predictions. Let me know your picks and predictions down in the comment section down below.